Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Mike Joy from the University of Toronto. Thanks for having me. In case you're wondering, yes, this workshop has been overtaken by Torontonians. That's the map. Okay. I want to talk to you about teaching about Bender and Koller's Octopus, specifically in the context of inductive biases and using Occam's razor, and in the context of having a bit of a point, counterpoint, counterpoint kind of discussion in class. So I will focus specifically on argumentations in the direction of talking about the history of astronomy, and I'll give some thoughts and some pointers to teaching materials as an example for teaching a philosophical position paper like BNK, who I'm now going to call BNK from now on. So I think most people will have heard about it, but just to quickly introduce the ACL 2020 famous Octopus test. So the idea would be you have two people, A and B, on desert islands, and they're communicating via undersea cable, by telegraph, except there is a hyper-intelligent octopus who's also very bored and taps into the cable, listens for a while, and then starts to pretend being, A and B to the other person. The octopus test, essentially, as Bender and Koller have it, is could the octopus credibly pretend to be A and B for a long time? And the answer is, well, like maybe in some situations, yes, but in situations which require world modeling to be done, the answer from BNK is no. So they make specific predictions about when that would not be possible. So one example that's admittedly in the appendix is the claim is GPT-2, which here stands for the octopus, was not at the time able to complete 3 + 5 = reliably. So of course, GPT-3 can do it pretty well, and you can train stuff from scratch now. This actually does work, but at the time that was not possible. So I would actually argue that's a falsifiable prediction that was made. Other examples were made with, what if A is talking about making some kind of new contraption, which understanding how to work it, whether it would work, would require understanding how the world works, not under the sea. So, the octopus would not be able to do that, not to mention the octopus doesn't know any of the words either. So that was the claim. So I introduce what I personally think is a good counterpoint. I also just wanted to be an example of the kind of thing you can do in class. So the counterpoint is, well, actually, people have done something like that. They've looked up at the sky, that's observational data, and they built better and better models that were more and more parsimonious and also more and more accurate for predicting what's going to happen when they go out tomorrow and look at the sky again, right? So we started maybe with the geocentric model, then people added epicycles to make the model very predictive. So this would be upwards of 500, 600 parameters for the state-of-the-art epicycle models up until Copernicus. And then Copernicus actually still had quite a few epicycles, but Kepler figured things out and had a much more parsimonious and accurate model. So I'm saying, in principle, this kind of thing is possible. So why is it possible? Well, I would argue inductive biases, right? So if you have the idea of, I want to predict what's going to happen next, even if it's observational data, if I try to build a theory that's as simple as possible, sometimes that turns out well. At least it turned out well for my friends over here. You might say, like if you go to Newton, well, actually Newton had famously an embodied experience that led to him, figuring gravity out. So you might argue that, but that was after Kepler. I think that's a good thing to teach in an introductory course. Students are interested in that kind of thing. They they want to know what it all means. They want to know the capabilities of the models that they're seeing out there. I think it's easy to make kind of various claims. I think in order to really sharpen people's intuition, you do have to go in this kind of pointer, counterpoint, possibly counterpoint format. I have some questions that I use to guide the discussion. Those are in paper, but of course, one could make your own as well. I have materials and I have a video lecture about kind of an expanded version of what I just told you about here. So all the materials are on my GitHub at the link there. Read my paper. If you have any questions, email me, tweet at me, x.com at me. Thanks very much.